Hello, everybody, and welcome to your AEW Dynamite review show here on the unofficial WWE podcast. Today is Sunday, June 27th, 2021. My name is Mimi Burris, and we have a awesome Saturday Night Dynamite to get into with an amazing main event to talk about. So let's not waste any time.
Championship means that much. I can't believe what we're seeing here. DMD.
So this week we started off the show with a video package showing Shawn Spears ambushing Sammy Guevara with a chair shot near the production truck and injuring his arm. And he wishes him good luck in his match next week against MJF, which is a match I am salivating at the thought about, guys. I am looking forward to that without a doubt, even though this Inner Circle Pinnacle thing has been meh at best, probably. And then we started off the night with Hangman Page, the opening match, surrogate apparently, versus Powerhouse Hobbs. And man, guys, did these two get the crowd involved right away. Watching everybody just booing Hobbs, especially in that front row, it was just such a good feeling. It's so good to have fans back, and I know I'll probably say that 15 more times throughout the show, but man, just the reactions and they were every Hangman Page match so far, it seems like, and I guess when I say every, I mean this one and a Double or Nothing, and the one before Double or Nothing as well, that Friday Night Dynamite, if I'm correct. Yeah, the Go Home show apparently, which did not feel like a Go Home show, but every time Hangman Page has been in the ring with the fans since we've returned to live crowds, I mean, guys, I feel like he gets the biggest reaction of the night, and Jungle Boy could probably challenge him for this one, but it was still fun to watch, guys. Love this match. We had some awesome just "you suck" chants or "you still suck" chants. I miss those. And in the end, obviously, Team Taz, Ricky Starks, and Hook comes out to try to have Hobbs hit Hangman Page with that FTW title. Man, they are committed to that finish. They want that finish to happen. It's getting a little old, but I understand the story beats, and it's functional in nature at least. And then we have Brian Cage coming out, and he attacks. Doesn't attack because he's got the broken neck, but he starts going after Ricky Starks and pulls off his jacket. I was a little worried for Ricky Starks there. I was like, just go gentle on him with the broken neck. And Hobbs obviously is distracted, and Hangman Page hits the Deadeye, which was nice to see instead of the buckshot lariat. They changed it up a little bit. I'll give him credit. And defeats Powerhouse Hobbs with the 1-2-3. And yeah, another notch on Hangman's record, obviously. I forget, it's like 12 something and 1, I think. 12 and 1 now. So I'm enjoying every Hangman Page match I watch. I'm just liking the slow burn of us slowly but surely getting to Hangman Page as a babyface champion, which I assume is where we're going, obviously, and I assume that's where most people assume we're going. A lot of assumptions going on. But yeah, so I have no complaints about this opening match. Hard hitting. Taz on commentary is just adds a new dimension to every single match he gets to be on commentary for. The one thing I'll say is Hobbs went for he hits a scoop slam and he goes for the headbutt on Page, and I'm getting a little. I just don't need to see that move, especially after watching the Dark Side of the Ring with Chris Benoit a couple months ago. Just don't need to see that headbutt move. I know Christian Cage did it a couple weeks ago too. It's just, I get it, and I hope obviously they're all doing it safely, and you could say that about a pile driver and the chair shots and stuff, but I don't know, there's a lot of bad mojo with that move, so I just don't need to see anybody attempting that. But other than that, guys, I can't complain. A great opening match to get the crowd all hyped up, to get me hyped up, and I'm sure you guys at home hyped up as well. So after that match, we had a video for the AEW World Championship match between Kenny Omega and Jungle Boy. That was going to happen in our main event tonight. And then when we come back from commercial break, the Young Bucks and Brandon Cutler cut this unbelievable promo. The Bucks run down all the teams they've beaten, and I'm never gonna do it justice. Explaining, they just do it in such a great way. They're annoying little heels, but I love them too. And then they say Eddie Kingston and Penta will join the list next week because next week obviously they have that tag team eliminator match, and I like the idea of that, by the way. Beat the champion, then you get a championship match like that, and it's said. It's a said rule. It's not just like assumed. And yeah, the Bucks will always win because they are EVPs, extremely violent people, or executive vice presidents, whatever you want to say. So I thought this was a great promo. This is a highlight of the night for me, actually, and I try to recap it better than that, guys, but obviously you probably all saw it, and you probably all agree that the Young Bucks are just in true form right now. So, and then back in the ring, we had Tully Blanchard and Tony Schiavone, and obviously he introduces Conan. Basically, these two have a war of words on the microphone. Conan he just says something about how Ortiz and Santana had to deal with racial discrimination in New York, and something about sheeps and FTR down in the South. And that Tully's going to eventually have to learn Spanish if he wants to one day communicate with his grandkids, obviously referencing to his to Tessa Blanchard's relationship. And then Tully says something about FTR wrecking Conan, and then Conan says that Santana and Ortiz were ready to come out, and obviously two guys in, bandanas and hats come out, we all think they're Santana and Ortiz, and obviously the two of them are FTR, because on the big screen that they show that Santana and Ortiz are knocked out, and were knocked out and ambushed by FTR, and then FTR hits a spike pile driver on Conan. I couldn't believe my eyes, guys. That was, props to the guy. I'm talking about obviously last week too, with MJF punching Dean Malenko, and now Conan getting a spike pile driver. There's no way to work that, guys. So a great heat segment in that sense. I thought a lot of the, it was a little weird in the beginning. I don't know with I have my two guys out coming in. I don't know. What did Conan expect? That Tully wouldn't have FTR prepared in case something went down? It's just a little weird. But spike pile driver to Conan. I have no complaints about any of this. This was awesome. So next up, obviously, we have, before I continue, guys, the fans booing and the commentators, they sold this like it should be sold. It was a spike pile driver to Conan. I'm beyond words, just speechless. So I'm excited for this tag team match. I don't know when it's going down. I'm wondering if they're going to wait till they get to New York to make it go down, because obviously we have a proud and powerful New York hometown, big, giant hometown crowd in that tennis stadium, so who knows. Obviously, next, though, we had Dante Martin entering the ring. He's got a match with Matt Sydal, but he's interrupted by Vicky Guerrero, who my ears... I honestly, muted my computer when I was watching this. I don't need to hear her say excuse me like that for that long. It was a heat segment back in 2008 or whatever it was with Edge. It's 2021, Vicky. But she introduces a future AEW champion, Andrade El Idolo, and Andrade and Vicky are about to make some huge announcement. And then, nope, Matt Sydal says, nope, this is my time, makes his entrance. Andrade goes to swing at Matt Sydal. Vicky Guerrero holds him back, and a little bit of tension, but we just start the match with Dante Martin and Matt Sydal, and Vicky Guerrero and Andrade do not appear any time later on the show. So the good news about this, guys, this pre-match, is that it was random. But, and why are they just entering? I don't know. Weird, random, but I get the point. And so, the good news is we're getting a Matt Sydal Andrade match out of this, and I can't complain about that. But, it was just, again, functional enough way to heat up a new first feud for Andrade in AEW, or at least a new, heat-fueled match. I don't know if they'd actually have a feud. So, but I'm bang up for Matt Sydal and Andrade, so that'll be great. And then this match between Dante Martin and Matt Sydal was just like a cocaine high-flying fest. I thought this was super well done, and I think it was JR who actually said something on commentary And he said that Matt Sydal was obviously, back in the day when he was Evan Bourne more so, he was more just all high flying moves. There was nothing else. I mean, Matt Sydal has really upped his game grappling wise and such. So really, he's way more of a all around wrestler now. So, you know, you kind of I almost expected more high flying stuff, but I was not disappointed with what I got. I was so impressed with the moves that these guys were doing to each other, and Dante Martin is just unbelievable. I mean, he is like Dolph Ziggler. I'm trying to think of the other name. Dolph Ziggler, Montez Ford, and a Rey Mysterio all combined to me. I mean, just to watch him in the ring, maybe throw like an Orange Cassidy in there. He's just such a, like, the way he did a springboard off the bottom rope. That was incredible. I mean, there was an awesome Poison Rana in this move, double springboard moonsaults. Meteora off the top rope looked awesome by Matt Sydal. And obviously, we have Matt Sydal defeating Dante Martin. Sydal hits him with a lightning spiral for the win. And again, this was just a fun, like, every now and then, AEW just needs a match for a match's sake. Like, sprinkle a little bit of dark in here, I know they do a lot of these matches on Dark and Dark Elevation, but there's nothing wrong with Dynamite having, just a fun, good old pro wrestling match with not like everybody doesn't need to have something going on at all times. Don't get me wrong, that's the key here, but sometimes it can be a little too much. Sometimes we just need a breather, like a 10-minute match of just good pro wrestling to like let our brains take a break. And this was perfect for that. So I was bang up for this match. This was awesome. Super into it. Awesome, just two guys who are so unbelievably talented in doing things we take for granted so much what pro wrestlers can do with their body. Like, I groan when I get out of bed, guys. These guys, like the Meteora just looked like chef's kiss perfect. The stuff that these guys were able to do and are able to do is just beyond my comprehension. So I try not to take advantage of it anymore and just like actually appreciate how amazing some of these wrestlers really are in the ring. So, and then, next, we had Christian running into Jungle Boy backstage, who was going to do some kind of promo or interview on his match. And he tells him not to just be happy that he has a title match. He should actually have a chip on his shoulder because so many people think he's not actually going to win. And that it's time to prove all those people wrong. And then Jungle Boy thanks him. And then we go to break. And when we come back, we have another Mark Sterling, Jade Cargill hyping up sale on AEW Shop. I'm that, you know what. You guys have heard my thoughts on this. And then we have Alex Marvez standing backstage, and he interviews MJF with, such a good interview. I mean, such a good promo. And MJF, Wardlow, and Shawn Spears. MJF doesn't understand why so many people have a problem with this recent attack on Dean Malenko. And man, he didn't go as far as I thought he was going to go. I thought he was going to have worse to say about this, but he said Malenko has no place in a dangerous profession like pro wrestling. And MJF, people should be thanking MJF for giving Dean an early retirement. And then out of nowhere, Chris Jericho and Jake Hager jump into the picture and start attacking all Shawn Spears, MJF, and Wardlow. But obviously they're outnumbered. And with Sammy Guevara getting his arm injured earlier in that night, obviously they're outnumbered. And so all five guys battle until they get into the ring. And MJF has Chris Jericho's trapped on the map, and Shawn Spears is going to hit Jericho's arm with a chair. And then, what do you know? I love Sammy Guevara's music, but they really don't even need to, why do they need to play his music? But anyways, Sammy Guevara comes out for the save, hits all three of the men, Wardlow, Spears, and with the chair. Hits only Wardlow and Spears with the chair. MJF gets out of the way, and then obviously saving that heat for the match next week. And Sammy grabs the mic and says MJF is an a-hole and a bitch and vows to beat him on Wednesday. Can you guys tell I'm really not in the mood to go back and edit out these curse words? So this was, again, functional enough, guys. I just enjoyed this, and it might just be because the crowd was there, but I really just enjoyed watching. There's either fireworks going off, someone's shooting somebody, or there's a backfire car. I don't think the mic is going to pick that up, but sorry, I'm distracted, guys. All right. I think I really just enjoyed like the overall atmosphere of this Dynamite. And I've had my complaints about this feud, but I'm not going to complain about a heat segment for Sammy Guevara and MJF heading to next week. I'm so excited for that match. And guys, the crowd, I take it back. Hangman Page did get the second to third biggest pop of the night. Sammy Guevara, man, maybe he did because this was the crowd went crazy for Sammy, and I'm happy to see that. I mean, the guy is so young, and clearly he made mistakes in the past. We've I think I've talked about before here on the show of what he's obviously some of his remarks that he's made, but he seems to be on the up and up. And you know what? Everybody says stupid crap from time to time. No excuses, obviously, for what he said, but I am just excited to be able to see. He's a young guy, and I'm just excited to be able to watch his career. I mean, someone tweeted out a picture of him from when he first started in AEW in 2019 to now with that stupid little coat he used to wear. And I remember watching one of the matches with him because I wasn't super into AEW right at the beginning, but it's crazy to think, man. Sammy Guevara is definitely going to be a giant babyface in this business, and I'm excited to see what's next for this feud. They've got me hooked again. I'm not nearly as hooked as I should be. This should be the biggest thing going on Dynamite right now, but I'm hooked for sure. So, next up, we had Bear Bronson versus Ethan Page, and the whole story of this match was Ethan Page continued to try to go for that ego's edge, but obviously Bear Bronson is huge. But at the end of the match, Ethan Page is able to hit a low blow on Bear Bronson and then is able to get the ego's edge with the assistance of the turnbuckle. And then after the match, Ethan Page grabs the microphone and starts trash talking Darby Allin, and that says pinning him is not enough, and he said before, I want to be the nail in your coffin, and then he says it really intense. And Ethan Page has got great eyes. I know that's a weird thing to say, but just like I believe him when he's talking. That guy is not playing pro wrestler. That guy believes in what he's saying, and so I want to be in the nail in Darby Allin's coffin over and over and over again. And it says he's challenging Darby Allin to a coffin match on July 7th at Road Rager in Miami. And guys, I'm again bang up for that. Ethan Page is money to me. I feel bad a little bit for Scorpio Sky taking the back seat in this, but I still have yet to watch one of those matches, and I keep telling you guys I'm going to. Awesome matches between Darby Allin and Ethan Page on things like Evolve and around the world, so I still want to go back and be able to watch one of those matches. I just have not had the time. So I'm excited for Ethan Page and Darby Allin. I hope Scorpio Sky, ends up being more than just like a side man. I want this tag team to continue, but I'm torn because I also want to see Ethan Page have a great singles run. But I think in AEW, the tag team division is not a bad place to just be in for now when there are so many other awesome single stars and continue to build your credibility up. So all in all, guys, I'm excited for this coffin match at Road Rager. I don't know about you guys, but I think Ethan Page and Darby Allin I think Ethan Page is going to beat the living crap out of Darby Allin, and I think Darby Allin probably, this is a way early prediction, but as of now, I assume Darby Allin gets the win, but I don't know. I just want to see Ethan Page ego edge Darby Allin down a flight of stairs into a coffin. Call me sick, but I'm super excited for this match. So, next up we had Chris Statlander versus the Bunny, and this was a great match. I don't know about anybody else, and I say it like that because it's the third hour women's match, the mandatory third hours women's match, and I guess we'll recap the match first, but I want to talk about the women's division here. All in all, Statlander hits the Big Bang Theory for the win, and she gets the 1-2-3 on the Bunny. There's a great little segment in this match, though, where the Bunny grabs the brass knucks from the Butcher, and the Butcher has the referee distracted, and the Bunny's holding the brass knucks up, and Orange Cassidy goes in the ring, takes the brass knucks from the Bunny, puts it in his pocket, and obviously, like I said, Chris Statlander gets the win, but after the match, right, we have Blade attacking Orange Cassidy, and then TH2 also coming out of nowhere to join the beatdown, and Helico and Jack Evans hold Orange Cassidy up, and Blade delivers a knockout punch with the brass knucks. Obviously takes him out of his pocket beforehand. And guys, here's the reason I'm reading this so unenthusiastically, because this was a great women's match. And really, it was just the vehicle for a post-match segment between Orange Cassidy and the Blade and TH2 and another men's feud, and I really don't need, it's like too much going on. There's too much after the match attacks and before the match and during the match and distractions. Like, AEW just has too much going on. Like, Tony Khan needs to like take an Ambien for a minute and just relax here. Too much going on. Like, let the women's division be the women's division. Britt Baker's title run has sucked so far, and unless Lena Vega comes out next week for this weird tag team match that Vicky Guerrero supposedly is going to be in, I'm uninterested in her title reign so far, which sucks because Britt Baker is awesome. She gets a great promo later on too, but that's all we get. Like, the women's division is continuously put on the back burner. This women's match that was a really well worked match, the Bunny, I say it every week on the show, it feels like, so underrated. Chris Statlander looks better than she's ever looked. And it's all just a vehicle for another men's feud that I don't think any of us really care about. No, Orange Cassidy and the Blade. It was a good knockout punch. Orange Cassidy sold it well, but I don't care. I do not care if it's continuously going to be at the expense of the women's division. So, backstage, QT Marshall has a promo, and they talk about Cody Rhodes and the South Beach strap match at Road Rager on July 7th. And then Pillman Jr. cuts a quick pre-tape promo about Miro and the TNT title. Obviously, that match next week, I assume. Yes, that match next week. And then Eddie Kingston and Penta hype up the June 30th title eliminator match against the Young Bucks. And, you know, it's Penta and Eddie Kingston and Alex Marvez. And they all end it saying Zero Miedo, so I can't complain. And then, obviously, we have the main event. Jungle Boy comes out with Luchasaurus and Marco Stunt. His family is sitting in the front row. And Omega comes out with Don Callis and the Good Brothers. And yeah, guys, I mean, right off the back, super important detail I felt taken care of. Obviously, the match has a 60-minute time limit, but there was only 20 minutes left in the match. Or excuse me, 20 minutes left for on TNT for AEW. And so Tony Schiavone says that they're going to stick with the match no matter how long it takes. That's a lie. They don't have the authority to do that, but you can say that because we don't know, you know what I mean? And that adds to believability and all this stuff, so I really appreciated that small little detail. And, you know, if you guys listen to my highs and lows for the week, which I assume are getting uploaded tonight, this was my high for the week. I thought this match was incredible. I thought these two guys worked an amazing match. Immediately, Marco Stunt, Luchasaurus, and the Good Brothers all get ejected from ringside. Obviously, we have Don Callis on commentary. It's about a 20-minute match. You know, in the beginning, they go after each other, just feeling each other out, and then some awesome back and forth. And most of this match stayed in the ring, which was so important. Obviously, besides like the, you know, copious amounts of suicide dives, but some great near falls, some great roll-up near falls, great innovative DDT off the rope. That flip over the top rope was incredible. Amazing amount of V triggers, which always look good. Great super kicks, a Snapdragon suplex, and a V trigger by Kenny Omega. That counter where Kenny goes for the one-winged angel and then Jungle Boy counters it into a Poison Rana. Again, I spoke about this on the other podcast. I said, I thought Kenny Omega broke his neck. Oh my god, I was like so nervous but also blown away in that it would look so good. We have a V-trigger and another power bomb from Omega, and obviously a 2 count. And then the snare trap submission, guys. Okay, so I think it was the first one was really good. The second one was the one that got a little bit funky. But I appreciate that Jungle Boy didn't let the submission go. But they had me. I was like, no one gets out of the snare trap. He's going to tap. And then, obviously, the Good Brothers, Kazarian and Marco Stunt and everybody else all come out. And I didn't need that. That's the one part of this match that I'm giving a thumbs down to. They got ejected. If you're going to get ejected, stay ejected. But I'm not even going to, like, harp on that for too long. Because this match was worked so incredibly. Obviously, Omega gets to the rope. I appreciated, like I said, though, that Jungle Boy kept this snare trap on. He didn't just let it go because people were running down the ramp. And, with one more V-trigger, after an incredible brainbuster and a near fall, by the way, one more V-trigger, the one-winged angel, Jungle Boy, gets pinned for the 1-2-3, and Kenny Omega defeats Jungle Boy to retain the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. And if we just ended the show here, I would have been fine, guys. But no, Omega is about to hit Kenny Omega. Excuse me, Omega is about to hit, that I wouldn't be surprised. No, Omega is about to hit Jungle Boy with the title after the match. Christian Cage comes out for the save. Okay, I can live with this. I can live with this. And then the Hardy office is right behind, and they attack Christian. Christian is about to hit the kill switch on Hardy, but the Young Bucks come out of nowhere and hit a super kick on Christian, and then Hardy follows it up with a twist of fate. And then all of the Young Bucks, the family, the Hardy family, Kenny Omega and everybody hold up the title and end the show. And I have a proposition for somebody out there. Can you please make a tally, because I didn't this week, and maybe I'll have to do it next week, of how many after the match beatdowns, before the match beatdowns, during the match beatdowns, distractions and such during the match are we going to have in one show? Because it's too much going on. Does anybody else feel this way? I mean, I have ADHD, which I'm sure you all could tell, right? And I like a lot of like this, oh, go over there, going this, go like over there, but I this is too much. Again, Tony Khan, take an Ambien. Take a break. Relax a little bit. Just like one thing at a time. We don't need 15,000 things going on. It's kind of like, all right, here's my example. Had an amazing breakfast this morning, guys. We got these donuts from this place called Donut Crazy, and they make like gourmet donuts, which is really I'm not supposed to have anyways, but we did. And I had a cannoli donut, and yeah, it is as good as it sounds. It's like, the donut, and there's like a little bit of the cannoli stuff on top with the chocolate chips, and then in between the donuts you have either cannoli cheesy stuff or whatever with the chocolate chips, and then the other donut. It's kind of like, it's like a cannoli sandwich but with donut buns, and it's unbelievable. I want to tell you guys I ate about half of it because it's too much. All I needed was like a little mini version of it. That's all I needed, like a nice little, because it's so rich and there's so much good stuff going on, but it's all just too much. I only needed a little bit, and I ate about half of it over the course of maybe an hour or two. That's perfect, just enough. Lasted me about an hour or two, and I didn't feel stuffed. I didn't need to eat the whole damn thing. And if you try to eat too much of the whole damn thing, which I have done before, you just feel full and stuffed. And yeah, you enjoyed kind of what you had in the beginning, but it all just kind of felt jumbled and too much. Just too much. So that's my analogy. That's the analogy of the week, guys. The cannoli donut analogy. But that is all for me today, guys, because it's been a lot of stuff going on today. And we got a nice couple weeks of Dynamite coming up. You know what, guys? We are back. We are back on Wednesday nights. I'm hyped about it. I don't know if you are, and I'm sure the ratings are going to be hyped about it too. But I am curious to see what AEW did this week in the ratings. I can look it up as we speak. I don't know if they have it up. I can't find it for this week, but last week apparently drew a .20 rating in the 18 to 49 demo, which is about a little bit over last week's, and had about the same number of viewers. No, had about 1,000, a little under 1,000. A little under 100,000 more viewers than it did last week. But that's for last week. I'm not making any sense right now. That was Friday night's Dynamite last week I'm talking about. This week, I don't think the ratings are up yet. But I am curious to hear what they did, obviously, Saturday night. I think Saturday night's a better slime spot. Saturday night is a better time slot than Friday nights, just my opinion. But I don't know. We all have different lives and schedules. So I'm just excited for us to be back on Wednesday nights, guys. And I'm going to stop talking here and hope you guys had a wonderful rest of your night. Let me know what you thought about AEW Dynamite. You can tweet me, because, yeah, I'm on the tweeter now, guys. At Mimi Burris. It's MIMIBURRIS. Tweet me your thoughts on AEW, or you can always send me an email at mimi.realwwepodcast@gmail.com. Got it on the first try. Yeah. And I went through the entire show without swearing. Have a great night, guys.